Today, we are going to talk about episode 8 of Kill Blue, where Ogami's biggest secret is exposed, Kazuma's hypnosis reaches a terrifying new level, and Tenma faces a life or death challenge that could change him forever. And with that said, without further delay, let's start. The episode begins with a very unexpected scene. Kazuma Rindo is researching Juzo Ogami. We see files revealing everything known about the legendary hitman, his perfect mission success rate, his preferred weapons, his incredible marksmanship, and even the reason behind his terrifying nickname, the Devil's Left Hand. And after learning all of this, Kazuma starts suspecting something unbelievable. Then, the story immediately returns to where episode 7 ended. Ogami and Kazuma are standing face to face, ready for their final showdown. At the same time, we also get a quick glimpse of Chisato waiting for them, worried about what might happen. And then the battle finally begins. Ogami immediately proves why he's considered one of the strongest enemies Kazuma has faced. A direct gunfight puts Kazuma at a disadvantage, but before either side can gain the upper hand, a security guard suddenly appears. The guard tells Ogami that the building is dangerous and that he needs to leave immediately. Ogami instantly realizes something is wrong. Kazuma deliberately takes advantage of the situation. If Ogami dodges Kazuma's bullets, the guard will get shot instead. And because Ogami never allows civilians to get involved, he's forced into a difficult position. But then Ogami does something completely insane. Instead of dodging, he shoots Kazuma's bullets out of the air with his own bullets. Even Kazuma is shocked. For a normal person, that would be impossible. And at that moment, Kazuma finally realizes the truth. The only person capable of such an inhuman feat is the legendary hitman himself, Juzo Ogami. Meanwhile, Kotatsu immediately starts complaining. He reminds Ogami that this is exactly why he told him to change his name before enrolling in middle school. And honestly, he has a point. Then comes one of the funniest moments in the entire episode. To hide his identity, Ogami desperately creates a ridiculous story. He claims that he isn't the legendary Juzo Ogami. Instead, he's supposedly Juzo Ogami's secret love child. According to his completely made-up story, the legendary hitman abandoned his mother and disappeared, causing him to seek revenge by taking the exact same name. The story has more holes than a piece of Swiss cheese. But somehow, Kazuma actually believes it. Even Kotatsu can barely believe what he's hearing. After that, the mood becomes surprisingly serious. Kazuma reveals that his younger brother Eiji wasn't always the silent person he is today. Long ago, the two brothers lived normal lives. Kazuma loved magic tricks. Eiji loved sports. But after a certain incident, everything changed, and now Eiji has become the most important person in Kazuma's life. Kazuma explains that Noren and Mitsuoka Pharmaceuticals may hold the key to restoring his brother to his former self. This gives us a much better understanding of why Kazuma is willing to go this far. However, he still refuses to back down. Then Kazuma finally reveals his true weapon. Hypnosis. The security guard wasn't acting on his own. He had already been hypnotized. Kazuma orders him to attack Ogami, but despite the surprise attack, Ogami knocks him out almost instantly. Unfortunately, that was only the beginning. Kazuma reveals that he started preparing long before this battle ever began. He already hypnotized civilians all around the area. And suddenly, we see countless ordinary people under his control. Realizing how dangerous the situation has become, Ogami immediately calls Tenma. He warns him to stay away from civilians because they're all hypnotized. Tenma understands the danger immediately. But instead of running away, he sees this as an opportunity to become stronger. Tenma explains something really important here. He says that throughout his entire life, he's always followed logic, training methods, and proven theories. And those methods have brought him success. But if he truly wants to become the ultimate triple threat athlete, someone capable of doing things beyond common sense, then maybe he needs to experience something beyond common sense as well. Then comes one of the best lines in the episode. Tenma says, if I can make it through this life and death contest, then no matter what I face after this, I'll be able to say, compared to that, this is nothing. That line perfectly captures Tenma's mindset. He's terrified, but he's moving forward anyway. And with that determination, Tenma challenges Eiji. Before the battle begins, Eiji safely moves Noren away from the battlefield. And then the showdown starts. Almost immediately, Tenma realizes just how terrifying Eiji really is. Eiji isn't simply hitting golf balls, he's firing explosive projectiles with unbelievable accuracy. Every attack Tenma attempts gets intercepted by Eiji's golf shots. Some shots even curve through the air using backspin, and Tenma can barely keep up. The fight quickly becomes one of the most exciting parts of the episode. Meanwhile, Ogami is being chased by countless hypnotized civilians. Eventually, he escapes outside. But things somehow become even worse. Firefighters arrive. At first, it looks like help has finally arrived. But then Ogami realizes they've been hypnotized too. The firefighters attack him using fire hoses. One even starts charging him with a stretcher, because apparently hypnosis has completely removed common sense from the equation. After dodging their attacks, Ogami shoots the fire hose and uses the water to knock out and wake up the hypnotized civilians. For the moment, the crisis is finally under control. But then something feels off to Ogami. His instincts suddenly kick in. He immediately turns around and points his gun behind him. But to his surprise, it's Chisato. The moment Chisato sees the gun pointed at her, she completely panics. Ogami quickly tries to calm her down and tells her that it isn't a real gun. But before he can fully understand what's happening, Chisato closes a lighter, and suddenly everything changes. The lighter was part of Kazuma's hypnosis. Ogami has been hypnotized. Even Kotatsu becomes worried, and he realizes exactly why Kazuma's plan worked so well. The reason isn't because Ogami is weak, it's because Ogami is too kind. If he only had to fight villains, he'd be practically unbeatable. But he refuses to hurt innocent civilians, and lately he's become attached to his classmates too. That kindness became the perfect weakness for Kazuma to exploit. Ogami immediately notices that something is wrong. He can still shoot, but he physically cannot attack Kazuma. The hypnosis is preventing him from doing it. To test it, Ogami fires 3 shots into the air. Then he uses the nearby fire hose to create a distraction and hide. Kazuma believes he has complete control now. So he sets one final trap. He reveals another hostage and demands that Ogami throw away his gun. Kazuma then asks if Ogami has any final words. Ogami only says one thing: take off that disguise. Kazuma removes the Chisato mask, and Ogami admits something surprisingly wholesome. Even though he knew it was fake, he still didn't want to punch someone wearing Big Sis's face. That small moment says a lot about how much Chisato means to him. Then the battle reaches its peak. Suddenly, the bullets Ogami fired into the sky earlier come back down. Even Kotatsu is shocked, because if Ogami actually planned this, it shouldn't be humanly possible. Ogami casually explains that he discovered the trick while messing around during training, though he admits his success rate is only around 70%, which is still completely ridiculous. Then Ogami finally reveals his entire strategy. While hiding, he planted explosives and prepared everything in advance. The returning bullets hit the stretcher. The stretcher explodes, and the explosion launches Kazuma directly toward Ogami, right into his waiting fist. One punch later, Kazuma is defeated. Even Kazuma is left speechless. The sheer amount of experience and instinct behind Ogami's actions is simply on another level. But just before losing consciousness, Kazuma reveals one final trap. Noren has already been hypnotized, and when she wakes up, she will fall in love with the very first person she sees. The moment Ogami hears that, he immediately panics. He rushes toward Noren as fast as possible. And the episode ends with him desperately thinking, "Don't wake up yet," leaving us with another hilarious cliffhanger. And honestly, this episode had everything: amazing action, comedy, character development, and one of the coolest Ogami moments in the entire series. What will happen when Noren finally wakes up? We'll find out in the next episode. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and support it for anime. Thanks for watching.